I used to love hot ring races. All the way back in Vice City, we were hitting the track and having fun. The first hot ring cars, the Sabre, was added all the way back in 2018 to GTA 5. But recently, Rockstar has decided to add two new cars. The Everon truck was first, and the Hellfire, which just released recently. What was once a one-trick pony is now a triple threat. And the new races they added are constantly pushed by Rockstar. So today we're going to discuss the positives and negatives of what you're up against and which car is the fastest on the track to give you the upper hand. Before I start though, I want to first have a word on curb boosting. You may see some different results from what you're seeing here, and that's okay. The reason can be is that you know how to exploit the game. Just fair and square, I understand it. But also because of curb boosting, and that's something that happens whether a player is aware of it or not. If you are the kind of racer that likes to stick to the track surface, you'd think you'd go faster, but the reality is that you won't. You see, when vehicles' suspension is compressed, ergo running over a curb, it speeds the vehicle up. And in some cases, this has allowed the vehicles to go even faster than they were intended to. The goal here is to let you know reliably which car is the fastest, and which means I'm going to test with all the things being equal. So I'm going to try to avoid curb boosting if I can. I'm going to try to give you kind of the flat numbers of what these cars represent. So if you want to be the fastest on the track, a track like a hot ring race will be filled with a ton of curbs, and that means you'll need to use them if you're not planning on taking a loss. And also, for some stupid reason, Rockstar believed that unlike open wheel racing, that hot rings need to have catch up on by default. And that means for the majority of the races, and I'm really talking 99%, they're not going to be about skill. But that should just stress that you'll need to have a better advantage, or any advantage you can get from the get-go. So today we're testing on Route 68, and the reason is because most of these tracks are no-brainers with long straights and boost pads. So the goal here is to really find out how well the car holds up in that top speed environment. First up, I tried the Hot Ring Sabre, and it's got a solid handling, it's got okay speed. It's a tried and true vehicle, but that's also what makes it suffer. It accomplished the track in a 154.496. Next up is the Hot Ring Everon, and this truck is a lot squirrelier than it should be, and it's also a lot faster. It's a mistake Rockstar makes constantly with these cars. They should really have exceptional handling to go along with that speed, but they usually don't. Still, it makes up for it with more power, which it finished the race in a 1 minute 51.784. The last in the list is the Hot Ring Hellfire. This is the new kid on the block, and it suffers from very, very bad turning radius and even worse handling, which, again, makes no sense for a race car of its caliber. It tries to kind of feel like it's getting a spot between the Sabre and Everon, but there's something quite not right about it, and I haven't really figured it out, but we'll get into that afterwards. For now, it finished with a 152.416. So after testing, I wasn't happy, so I decided to go to the Altruist race and test the cars out there. That seems to be the one that everybody likes doing. It's kind of a no-brainer race. It's straightforward, and with catch-up on, it's kind of painful. Regardless, that was the one that I think everybody chooses, so that's the one I went with. The best I could net from the Everon was a 42.256. That's using curb bursting and all the tricks that we could, while the Hellfire did a 41.8. And originally testing it without it, it did a 42, so it was a second faster with that. So why is it much faster? This is kind of a problem with coding. The car is just sloppier, and I think it allows it to get more from boost bars and from curb boosting. There's probably a lot more suspension movement on the car, and that's making the car go even faster. I noticed it when we were starting Route 68 that it kind of compressed a lot before it went out on the track. So it may even get more benefit from slipstream, but that's something you'll have to test on your own. The Hellfire's flaps also, by the way, were not done correctly. They flip up when they're supposed to be when you brake, which is not how they work. But when they do that, they also allow handling to increase immensely. So I didn't use that obviously on the Altruist race because that's just an gas all the way open race. but you just never know when that information will come in handy to rein it in. For my testing in regular races, the Everon is easily the fastest, especially when it was a true test of speed. Once you got into that broken environment, such as stunts or hot ring races or any of that kind of stuff, the Hellfire ended up nudging the Everon out just so slightly. As the big trick was to keep the Hellfire under control, so you needed to brake more with it, and you had to have more momentum to make it work. So there's kind of a give and take there. So it really is as if you're a good driver and you can drive the Hellfire, you may actually be faster with it. If you're not the kind of guy that's used to hard handling, the Everon may be your fallback car. But again, when it comes to the stunt races, the Hellfire for some reason is going to push out and nudge out in front. And I think having that bonus is a big deal. While if you just run a regular race, you're going to end up going with the Everon all day long and just stick with it. So that's all you need to choose the best car or to use when it comes to hot ring vehicles. So let us know about your results in the comments below. And until next race, we'll see you on the track.